Hey everyone, for this week's community interest piece video, I decided to interview my teacher from Kennewick High as well as some of my classmates and ask them what they believe was the biggest challenge they faced throughout their high school years that didn't really share with anyone and kept to themselves. I believe that people should listen to this because many aren't aware of the challenges that these students face, and I think it would be really helpful for them to know so they can provide help to the students in any way they can. Makes this important because by our community being aware of these challenges, they will in a way provide a safer environment for students. Teachers, parents, people in general will find a way to help and be there in hopes that these students don't go through these challenges by themselves. Here are some of the interviews I conducted throughout high school.
My biggest challenge throughout high school was probably learning to manage my time, whether that is like getting things done on time or like learning how to manage my schoolwork with my outside life and things like that. Or like if you have a job, like having to manage all of the time that you have to go to work and then still have time to do your homework, and then somewhere find like time to hang out with your friends or like hang out with your family and have like a social life, I guess. But also I would say like having to I don't know, like be able to deal with everything that's expected of you, because I feel like as a high school student you are like basically already required to know what you're supposed to do with your life. And even getting closer to your senior year, like you're already like, everybody is, I guess, kind of expected of you to like know what you want to do for the rest of your life, and most of the time we don't know that. Or like throughout high school, like there's like instances where you don't know what you're doing most of the time, whereas like, and then having to have these perfect grades is like really hard on you, can get really hard on you, because as a young adult you don't completely understand like everything, I guess. And
I felt throughout high school was feeling overwhelmed at times. Sometimes I felt like I had too much on my schedule and I would have to find a balance in between life and school.
COVID-19 has been the biggest challenge throughout my high school years because it is stressful staying at home and trying to find motivation. Plus, once you go back to school, you have to make up all the missing assignments, and that really sucks.
Biggest issue that I faced throughout high school, I would say being motivated, staying motivated in order to do my work. Yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest issues.
I think the biggest challenge for kids today is all of the stress that's put on them. It kind of comes from everywhere. So they've got like everything that everybody's always had, where, you know, now you're getting ready to go out in the real world, you're going to be an adult. So there's the stress of what are you going to do? You have to finish high school. Are you going to go on to college? If you're going to go on to college, where's the money going to come from? You know, do you have a job? Do you want a job but you can't find a job? Do you need to, you know, the stress on a lot of kids from family in terms of they need to help financially or just with other siblings or something. But then COVID has definitely added to a lot of that stress because we've got all of that stuff that everybody had to deal with. And now we also have, you know, we hear all this stuff about the learning loss because we couldn't be all on campus and everything for so long. So now kids have all this extra pressure to try to make up for the last year and a half, 2 years of school while still having to do all the rest of that stuff.
During this interview, I realized that many of the students' challenges are the same, and that is the lack of motivation, the lack to do things and be productive, which in the future affects their mental health. During high school, they're probably the toughest years of like a teenager's life, right? They have to learn how to do certain things. They are getting prepared in a way for the real life, what's called the real life. Teachers often, instead of asking and being there for a teenager and worrying about how they're doing because their grades are low, they just throw more assignments, and which obviously lowers the student's grade more, right? This like can lead to like, in a way, them having problems at home because their parents expect them to have good grades, which is understandable in a way, right? Like, you have to have decent grades in order to graduate from high school. And colleges look at your grades, which is like all so much pressure that a student faces. And they, like you in the interviews, they have many challenges, and with it, mental health being one of the other major challenges that these students face, those grades, right, and being so stressed and obtaining good grades, having straight A's, let's say, all that stress builds up together, which leads to you having mental problems in a way, because you just are so focused and trying to get those grades while you still have other things going on around your life, which in my opinion, it's like really hard to manage everything that's going on at your life at once and still manage to have all these good grades. I also think that managing time is one of the most difficult challenges that students face too, because like I said, they have a lot in their hands and they're trying to put everything into like this certain time they have free. And I feel like parents, teachers, students should, in a way, help these students manage their time better and like provide help in how to manage their time better. I hope that by this video, in a way, our community is more aware about these issues that students have at school. Like I said, they shouldn't be facing these issues alone, and they should have someone who will be there with them, facing the issues and helping them out, helping them figure out a schedule and all that. This topic is really important because, like I said, all these issues and all these challenges lead to sometimes students becoming depressed, becoming antisocial, not having motivation for anything, which really affects them not only in their school life but also in their personal life. I think it is really important for our community to stay strong and, in a way, find time to help these students out, for there not to be like consequences of them not graduating or them becoming really sad with the life they're living.